Good morning, beautiful people. It's going to be a great week, folks. Great week. It's time to retire this little buddy. It ain't working. Just got to be honest with you guys. It ain't there. I'm forcing it. I don't feel it. Refrain using terms like good morning, you're a global star. This is a global show. That's a good point, actually. Good day or night. Good. How about this? Good. We got a lot to go over today, huh? First and foremost, if you guys are not plugged into, you're a dummy if you don't get the Wordle today. That scares me. It's a lot of pressure. If you guys are not watching our streams during the games, you're really missing out. We'll be live tonight at 9 for the Rockets-Warriors game. You're missing out. Playback.tv/ShinyBias, or you can watch them here when they're live, or you can watch the VODs. You can watch the VODs, members only, but, you know. That's just the way it works. I'm sorry to say. I'm unfortunately sorry to say it. Hair looking good as always? I know. Is it windy on that roof? No, I have wind blocking technology that blocks it. So we're good. You see this? How it's a little fuzzy? That's the technology working right now. Blocking it. So. Lakers lost, by the way. Wait, really? Oh. I didn't know that. You're telling me for the first time. I have to say I'm quite nervous about this because somebody said I'm a dummy if I don't get this. Fuck you. I knew it. I knew that's what you were doing. We have a Wordle spoiler in the chat. We have a Wordle spoiler. New stat. Your purple first solves. No thanks. Okay, here we go. Well, this is right up my alley. Hair, mousse. They just had a hair one yesterday. Gel and wax. Mousse, gel, wax, spray. Hair products. Okay. Spare tire. Tire, exhaust. Fingerprint, hair, fiber. Thinking of ways that they can take like your DNA, fingerprint, a hair follicle, A tire mark, evidence at a scene, a tire mark maybe. Fiber. God damn, I'm good at this game, man. Plain, bare, simple, bore. My God, I'm good at. Plain, bare, simple, bore. Tire, exhaust. Plain, bare, simple have to be together. Have to be. Maybe bore's not there. Maybe spare is. That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe tire? Bore, spare, drain, exhaust. Oh, yeah. Wait. Drain, exhaust, tire. Drain, exhaust, tire, bore does make sense to me. Nice. God, I'm incredible at this game. God, I mean, jeez. I mean, that's just phenomenal work. And that's how you know it's going to be a great week. We're starting off like that. Jesus. Jesus, man. Where do we want to start, guys? I mean, we got to talk about the Lakers. Dame. The Dame one's rough, man, because that might be the end of his career. I mean, has there been any update on Jimmy, by the way? Oh, he tore his Achilles. Dame tore his Achilles last night. Dame will turn 35. Damn, his birthday's 2 days after mine. 3 days after mine. Dame will turn 35 this summer, which means we probably will not see Damian Lillard on the basketball court again until he's 36. Man. Very sad about Dame. I wasn't watching, but when the Hayes tweet came out immediately, something was wrong. I knew the moment the play happened. I thought that looked fucking weird. And you guys know my history of saying Achilles. Remember that? Remember that? It's not funny, but remember that stretch? I keep getting this error message. Please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Does the stream look good? It was about 3 times a game a guy would be down and be like, that might be Achilles. That's got to be Achilles. Best case scenario, he becomes a mini Chris Paul, but it's too unlikely, I feel like. Be right back. Man, it's going to be a good week. And you want to know? And you want to know something? Why it's going to be an even better week? I have finished. I've complained about this on air a little bit, but I have finished my horrible coffee pods from Nespresso. They're all gone. So I've moved on to now the better double espresso pods. So it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a good week after talking about the Dame injury is crazy. Okay, not a good week for Dame. We'll talk about it more here in a second because I do want to go a little deep into Dame's career. Oh, it's so much better. Jesus, it's so much better. Do you play video games? Not that much. But I want to. I mean, we talked about streaming here before. It's just never come to fruition. But it's possible. I do want to. I managed to avoid Last of Us spoilers, and goddamn, that's insane. That's honestly insane to have avoided that. I bought new basketball shoes and then immediately dropped and cracked my phone. I had a good week over here. Hey, man, maybe it was time for an upgrade of your phone. Maybe it was time. Are you a millennial? So what if I was? Huh? And it's up for debate. There's a lot of debate as to what constitutes a millennial and what constitutes a Gen Zer, a Zoomer, if you will. So it's up for debate. At least you didn't crack your Achilles. Knock on wood, everyone, right now. A zillennial, if you will. That's right. Many people are calling me that. Many people are calling me a zillennial. Mohenzi. All right. For Americans, I say dividing line for millennial versus Gen Z is if you can actually remember 9/11. Well, I do remember it pretty vividly. Cowboys draft grade? Yeah, I've talked to a few people. I've communicated with several of the draftees as well. I've also communicated with the Jones family. I feel like they did what they wanted to accomplish in this year's draft. I'm giving it a B just because I thought there was some value on the board that they maybe missed out on at certain picks. But I do think overall it was a good grade, a good draft. I thought they addressed some areas of need. And look, here's the reality, guys. Defense wins championships. And for the Cowboys, I thought they did a pretty good job addressing some of their needs on that side of the ball. So I like it quite a bit for them. We're going to see how it looks in training camp. And, they're going to be ready to go. In a lot of ways, it's their year. In a lot of ways, it's our year this year. Cowboys, it's our year, baby. Do you guys see how easy it is? Give me on ESPN at once. The Cowboys, I thought, had the worst draft in the NFL. And let me explain to you why really quickly. Shedeur Sanders drops and drops and drops. I look at what's going on in Dallas. I look at Dak Prescott. I see a guy who can't win at the highest level. I see a guy who's not going to take you over the finish line. I see a guy who's not going to deliver the promised land to you. I look at Shedeur Sanders. Guess what I see? I see a star. I see a superstar. I see somebody who had to go out at Colorado and win games despite the fact that he had nobody on his team. What's that? The second overall pick was on his team. But outside of him, he had nobody on his team. And I watched him go out there and play great week in and week out. Dak Prescott can't do that. Dak Prescott's not going to do that. The Cowboys should have drafted Shador Sanders. And because they did it, it's an F. F grade in the draft. I was 13 when... It's nice to go from that to the 9/11 talk. I was 13 when 9/11 happened. No, I remember 9/11 happening. I was like 6 years old. Why are we talking about 9/11? let's focus up here. I have no idea how we're talking about 9/11 at this point in the stream. Bro was born in the 80s. No, I don't think you know how math works. 9/11 was in 2001. Luka traded to 9/11 of basketball? Absolutely, in a lot of ways. Yeah. Speaking of 9/11, President Bush. All right, let's get started. He's in the chat, is what I'm saying. He actually tunes in quite a bit, believe it or not. He wanted to come to our live show, or the Locked On Mavs live show. He wanted to come on, security stuff with my security team and the Secret Service. It was just a little too much. So we had to tell him that he wasn't invited, basically. And it was, not to bring politics into this, but we saw like Dallas didn't win the trade. I think it's going to get a little contentious in here today. I have to be honest with you. I think it's going to get a little hot in here, a little steamy. Good morning, folks. It's Monday. It's April 28th, 2025, 10:53 a.m. Central Standard Time. We've got a lot to discuss. We've got a lot to go over. We have playoffs, round one. It's interesting because as it stands right now, I believe there's only one series that's tied at 2-2. Warriors-Rockets have to play game 4 tonight. They're the sort of the series that we're waiting on. But this has been such an incredible first round so far. There's been some great games. It's been very competitive. And I'm thinking there's a 3-1 series that's going to get rocky. Like I'm looking at it. I think at least one of these 3-1 series, assuming Rockets maybe lose tonight, I think one of these series is going to get a little bit dicey. I think it has to. But it's been an incredible first round so far. I want to start with this. I want to start with this incredibly unfortunate news from last night. Genuinely makes me really sad. Damian Lillard has reportedly. Wow, I mean, look at this shit. I type in Damian Lillard and look at the first thing that pops up. Damian Lillard void. Degenerate gamblers, get a hold of yourself. Get a hold of yourself, degenerate gamblers. This guy just tore his Achilles. You're talking about void. You made a bet. You gambled money and you lost. Fucking loser. You lost. Get a grip on reality for once or I'll help you find it. Chris Haynes reported that Dame is feared to have torn Achilles. It looked pretty obvious when the play happened. Yeah. Oh, man. That's just... I honestly didn't see this angle. Ugh.
How do you, as a coach?
Oh, man. That's as bad as it gets. Torn Achilles for Dame, obviously, just in the short term looking at it, pretty much means the series is over and done with. The Bucks are down 3-1. They're just not... They're nowhere near as good enough. Me, after I bet on Damian Lillard back-to-back games, you should be embarrassed and ashamed. And why do you have 4 followers? Blocked. The Bucks are down 3-1 in this series. They're just at a talent disadvantage. The Pacers are a better team than they are. Random beat out siding. They're just a better team at this point in time. And on top of that, they're slower. They're older. They don't have the horses really. And now your guy who you would hope would be the shot-making Robin to Giannis, a guy who, if this gets to a shootout, we've got two elite offensive players. Giannis and Dame is now out for the rest of the series. Kuzma looks horrible, of course, yes. That goes without being said, really. Like, that's just, we don't even need to say that, really. It's just kind of, we naturally assume it. But the Dame Lillard injury pretty much ends the season for the Bucks. And now, I mean, where do we want to start? Do we want to start about the future of Damian Lillard, maybe a quick little retrospective on Dame's career, or what this means for the Bucks moving forward? Because it's kind of reaching this point with Milwaukee where in years past they would lose and it would be this could be it. This could be the summer for Giannis. And it never really happens. And it's always just, I feel like wishful thinking from people who want to see a trade more than anything else. But it does feel like now is the time. Like, this is probably really happening. They're getting older. It's clear and obvious that they're not close to a championship team. And you look at their draft pick situation, you look at the young talent on their roster or the lack thereof, and it's difficult to imagine any scenario in which the Bucks are a championship contending team at any point for the remainder of Giannis's career. It happens that fast. I need people to understand this. It happens that quickly in the NBA. Okay, we always talk about these long windows for teams and 4, 5, 6 years. It can go in a millisecond. It can go in a millisecond. And for Milwaukee, it just kind of unceremoniously went away. You know, like if you watched them last year, if you watched them this year, it's obvious that they weren't a championship. I had a friend, I think I talked about this on here. I have a friend who has a $50 bet on the Bucks to win the championship, and he told me about it recently. And I was like, beginning of the season, that's not a terrible bet. If you want some value, like the Bucks will win the championship. He was like, no. I made this bet a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh, you might as well just give him the $50 to me. Seriously. This is one of the worst bets I've ever seen. What were you seeing that made you want to do that? But it's been obvious all year that they're not in the stratosphere of teams like Boston, of teams like the Cavaliers, and in the Western Conference, the Thunder, and whoever else you want to put in there. I mean, they're not even better than the Pacers, obviously. And now the future outlook for Milwaukee, Brooklyn has their 2025 first round pick. The Pelicans hold rights to swap their 2026 first round pick. The Pelicans hold rights to swap their 2027 first round pick. The Trailblazers have rights to swap their 2028 first round pick. Portland or Washington is getting their 2029 first round pick. Portland holds rights to swap their 2030 first round pick. The only pick that they are in possession of their own, is the 2031 first round pick. Which I guess they could trade since the 2030 pick is a swap. Yes, the Drew trade is still happening for them. Why do they owe a pick to Brooklyn? What happened there? It's always interesting, these picks. Why do they owe Brooklyn picks? They can trade either 31 or 32. That's it. If you want to look at their roster, can anyone think of why the fuck they owe Brooklyn a first round pick? I'm trying to think right now. It's literally slipping. No. It's not Lopez. It's not Brook Lopez. There's no way. There's no. No, Brook Lopez came from the Lakers, I'm pretty sure. The Brook Lopez was the first name I thought. Nick sent it to Brooklyn. Oh, okay. All right, that makes more sense. God, look at all these fucking ads. All right, and let's look at the roster. Torian Prince. Okay. All right, yeah, that makes sense now I'm thinking about it. Brook Lopez. Ancient. I mean, you got guys born in the 80s on this roster, guys. Guys born in the 80s. We're in 2025. Brook Lopez, 36 years old, 80 games. He's getting 30 minutes a game with this team. He looks slow as shit. Still can shoot threes. Still, the rim protection numbers with him are still good, but you watch him play. He's slow. He can't keep up with the team, especially a team like Indiana. Dame, 34 years old, going to turn 35 in the summer, just tore his Achilles. We will not see him play basketball again until he's 36 years old at the earliest, if he plays basketball again. Honestly, those are the questions you have to ask. Chris Middleton's not on the team anymore. DeLon Wright is DeLon Wright still on the team? I don't know. DeLon Wright's not on the team anymore. Pat Connaughton's 32 years old. He's a nothing player at this point. He's barely out of their rotation. They put him in last night just to give him something, but he's not a player for them. Torian Prince had a good regular season, but he's getting up there in age. He's over 30 years old. Yeah, DeLon Wright's on the Knicks. That's right. Kyle Kuzma, they just traded for him. He's about to turn 30, and also he's shit. So you have that. And then you look down at the players that are in their 20s. It's Gary Trent Jr. Okay. Kevin Porter Jr., Jericho Sims, AJ Green, Ryan Rollins. He's giving them some good minutes at times, but Andre Jackson Jr., Chris Livingston. Look at what we're talking about here. It's over. Giannis will almost certainly get traded this summer. And man, I'm honestly kind of thinking about it because what's Giannis's contract situation? Brooks a free agent, I believe. Bobby Portis is a free agent. So you have that dilemma. Like, how many more years left does Giannis have? Didn't he just sign an extension? All right, he's got a lot of time left. Milwaukee might be in such a bad spot that they might... Milwaukee just be like, hey, man, we just can't do it. We can't trade you, bro. We can't trade you, man. I'm sorry. Paul at the 2. Mavs will pick up Dame. Yeah. Exactly what they need. Which team will be willing to give up all their assets for Giannis? Brooklyn would do it in a heartbeat. Just off the top of my head. Brooklyn would do it in a millisecond. And that's a team to watch. I do think... I still think the Knicks could put together an interesting package. I'd have to sit down and look at what their pick situation is, but I think they'd probably do it. Don't sleep on a team like Boston saying, fuck it. The way the cap stuff works, we only have a couple years left. Let's see if we can figure out a way to package together contracts. The Houston would absolutely do it. Every team would do it. Literally every single team. Every team in the league is sending you a package. The Grizzlies, yes. Every team in the league is sending you a package. Absolutely the Spurs. Wicked, 31 months. Slightly, where'd you get your glorious dance from? Just concocted it myself. They can't aggregate salaries for Giannis. Yeah, but teams can get creative. Would LA ship Luka? That would be a hilarious turn of events. The Mavs will send whatever dog shit package they have. They'll try. The Thunder are an interesting team. If the Thunder flame out in the playoffs, and J-Dub, who had a phenomenal first-round series, J-Dub maybe disappoints in a series, that's something to think about. That is something to think about. The Bucks will do right by him. And they have they need to. They're done anyways. The next 5-6 years are going to be horribly bleak for Milwaukee. Horribly bleak. That's why I'm trying to tell you guys. It happens. I'm trying to explain this to Thunder fans in my life. It happens this quick. And Thunder fans should know, but it happens this quick. You have these 3, 4, 5 year plans in your head. It goes away like that. And it's over. And it's done. And it's not some ride off into the sunset shit. It ends. It's over. So Damian Lillard, oh, man. Just really feel bad for him. Working his way back from that blood clot issue. Just to tear his Achilles. And what was it? His third game? Third game returning from that. The way that Dame plays, an older, smaller guard that does rely, a great shooter, but he does rely on that athleticism a little bit. Do they confirm it was a tear? They haven't confirmed, but Chris Haynes reported it immediately. It looked like an Achilles injury. man, it's really sad. I'm assuming Dame will come back. I don't think it's over for him, right? I don't think his career is over, but probably his career as a all-star level player is over. Next time we see him on a basketball court, he'll be 36 years old. And I think it's time for a career retrospective on Dame, because there was a stretch in time where mid to late 2010s, you could absolutely argue that he was the third best guard in the NBA behind Steph and Harden at the time. I don't even think you could argue. I think that was just pretty much agreed upon. Third best player in the league, or third best guard in the league. Made one All-NBA first team. This little stretch right here, I mean, look, this season right here was insane. The shortened season in the bubble, 30 points per game. No question about it, in my opinion, for my money, I think from what I've seen with my eyeballs, I think Damian Lillard is the second greatest shooter I've ever seen behind Steph Curry. What makes Steph Steph is the fact that he's attempting insane shots, and it's 40% for Steph every single season. But Craig, 28 months in the slightly delusional club. Clay definitely has an argument, but Dame has the self-creation threes, the depth of his threes. I mean, I'd have to imagine for most of these years, he probably led the league in three-point distance, average three-point distance. The Dame time, the 30-foot threes, he was a monster in clutch games, down the stretch in games. It was. Dame time is a very fucking real thing. You almost just kind of knew he was going to make it. And was liable to always pop off and score just an absurd amount of points, right? He's got a 70-point game in his belt, a 60-point game as well. Damn, Dame at the peak of his powers was something else. And yeah, a grifter of the highest proportions. Low-key, one of the biggest grifters in the league. The argument for Dame is that off the bounce, pull-up three-point shooting is the most valuable type of three-point shooting, and he's second best to ever do it. Yeah, that's the argument for him, is the self-created threes are so incredibly valuable. It's why we argued last year Luka was the second best three-point shooter in the league behind Steph, was because, well, when you're creating your own three-point shot for pretty much every single one that you shoot, and the degree of difficulty is high, and you're doing it efficiently, that's more valuable than a guy who's attempting less and having those looks generated for them every single time, who's also hitting it about, 40%, maybe a few percentage points higher. I mean, I don't want to sit here and get into the Dame versus Clay debate. Like, that's one of those things where if you want to say Clay is the best shooter ever, like, whatever. I won't argue with you there. Clay's one of the greatest shooters of all time. Like, I don't want to get into the mud there. Rookie of the year, obviously, Dame. All-star in his second season. Bad shot. I mean, like, iconic playoff moments. Is there a player, at least in recent history, who hasn't been to a finals, has only been to one conference finals, like, really has kind of lacked the prolonged playoff success, but yet has so many playoff moments? Tyler with the $4.99. Slightly, do you agree with Kendrick Perkins? Ant-Man wins a championship before Luka. Did I attach my trailer to the wrong basketball hooper? We'll get into that whole topic here in a bit. Revisiting Dame's career, GG's. It's probably GG's. He's the only guy I can remember that had series-winning buzzer beaters minus John Stockton. I mean, iconic playoff moments without ever making it to a finals and only making it to one conference finals. $34 points per game. Oh, man. Who did Portland play in this series? 2021 playoffs? Was that the Nuggets? Yeah, that was that Nuggets series. That was pretty fucking crazy. 34 points per game. That was him and Jamal were going at it, huh? Oh, and then they had that overtime game where CJ McCollum stepped out of bounds. Is that right? Is that the same series? Dame series winner versus Houston and OKC were my two faves of all time, and Dame's responsible for both. I mean, the one against Houston is just so cold-blooded. We had that 4 overtime game where A. Rivers was praying. Yep. Iconic moments. Jeez. And it happens like that, man. Such an incredible player. At the peak, he was so good. I remember one time, God, it was a while ago, and I remember this vividly, actually. I had yet to start the Silent Bias YouTube channel, and I was working on something to start it, and it was going to be like a video ranking point guards or something, and I was going to make the argument that Dame was the second best point guard behind Steph, ahead of Harden. I don't remember what year it was, though. I do not remember what year it was. And I was probably going to be wrong, but I was really on some hating shit with Harden. I've come around. But, I mean, it was a Houston thing. I was on some hating shit. No two ways around it. You have Dame above Kyrie. Dame as an individual player, best player on the team, has much higher highs than Kyrie. That much cannot be debated. They had Dame top 75 player of all time. Didn't they put him in that? Yeah, they did. Kyrie has the postseason moments, obviously. It's time to go full unk. Listen, you have no idea how good Amari Stoudemire was. I mean, individually, how can you make an argument that Dame didn't have a better career? There were some EPM years with Dame. Yeah, this might have been it. 2020, the best offensive player in the league, according to EPM. 2018, the 5th best player in the league, according to EPM. In that last year in Portland, where he was incredible. Best player in the league offensively. Some would argue Kyrie's the best on those Cavs teams. Who the fuck would argue that? And you guys know I love Kyrie. Who would argue that? What? Kyrie having arguably the best clutch shot in NBA history gives him an argument. Yeah, I mean, again, Kyrie has the postseason success, obviously. Dame or Russ? I mean, I feel like that's actually kind of disrespectful to Russ, to be honest with you. I think peak Russ was better. Now Dame's had sort of the longevity where I think later in Dame's career, he's still been a better player compared to Russ, who kind of, once that fall off happened, it happened kind of quickly almost. Russ MVP for optics, Dame longevity. I mean, Russ's peak was better. What play in NBA history in your mind is the most overrated? Overrated play in NBA history? Off the top of my head, I don't know. Russ's game is built too much on his athleticism. Once he started losing it, it started falling off. Thoughts on people named Chuck? Short for Charles? I know so many dogs by the name of Charles/Charlie that it becomes a little bit weird to me when I meet a human one, Brook Lopez is a favorite to be Lakers starting center. That's disgusting. I see a lot of people say MJ's hand switch lay in the finals against the Lakers. I hate whenever we do like the comparing, like, oh, well, this play happens all the time now. You know, it was different back then. These guys are more talented now. They just are. That's just the reality. They're more skilled now. Wait, where are these odds at? Dude, the blocked by James play is not overrated. What are you talking about? Why do we have the GOAT haters in here? There's nothing from that game that's overrated. Game 7 against the greatest team of all time, greatest regular season team of all time. Down 3-1. Nothing about that game is overrated. Nothing. Yeah, I'm glazing. I don't give a shit. Kyrie shot over Steph is overrated. All right. A game-winning 3 in Game 7 of the NBA Finals is overrated, guys. Nothing's good anymore. Guys, it's 2025. Nothing's good. There's nothing good. Nothing good ever happens anymore. Blocked by James. Throw old school camera flashes in there and people would say it was the greatest moment ever. True. Or it would multiply by about 3 times. Anyways, what a brutal injury for Damian Lillard, man. Just feel terribly for him. An incredible career that part of me feels like as time goes on, we will almost sort of forget how great it was just because, again, there wasn't the postseason stuff. There was never a finals run. You know, he did have iconic playoff moments. Only one All-NBA first team. Like, I feel like we'll forget. I feel like it'll be forgotten. I mean, 19 points per game is a rookie. Actually, I could see Dame's post-career going one of 2 ways. I could see it being like, because of those game-winning buzzer beaters, because of the few playoff highlights we do have are so iconic, I feel like we might look back on it. People might look back on it and be like, damn, why did Dame never win an MVP or stuff like that? I could see that. Might become one of those what if players soon in the postseason convos. I don't know about what if. 900 career games in the regular season. He did go to the Western Conference Finals. That's true. Oh, man. And then if we really want to do it right now, that the Bucks trade for him, which is catastrophically bad for a multitude of different reasons, now especially looking back on it. Heading into the 23-24 season, the Bucks, assuming they lose here, and assuming they blow shit up in the summer, the Bucks will have never won a playoff series with this group, which is just unbelievable to even think about. They trade Grayson Allen to the Phoenix Suns. All right, whatever. This is the one that really hurts. Drew Holiday to the Blazers, 28 first-round pick, 29 first-round pick, 2030 first-round pick. Man, I mean, that's, you know, you look at it, you didn't trade like any great young guys, but look at Phoenix's contribution to this trade. DeAndre Ayton and Tumani Camara for Yusuf Nurkic and Grayson Allen. Oh. 29 first unprotected, 28 and 2030 first round pick swaps. So an unprotected first round pick, 2 swaps, and Drew Holiday goes to the Blazers. Now, of course, the Blazers then flip Drew Holiday to the Boston Celtics, a rival of the Milwaukee Bucks, for Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, a 24 first round pick, a 29 first round pick. And then, of course, the Celtics go on to win the NBA Finals. And that's that. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. Feel bad for Damian Lillard and Bucks fans because it's going to get ugly. I mean, it's going to get bad. Let's take a look at the playoff series. We'll update our confidence meter sheet where we're at on some of these series. We've done pretty good predicting so far. Again, it's been a very competitive first round series, even though there's only one series that isn't either over or 3-1. Time to talk about LeBron's collapse yesterday. I've got my opinions on this series. I've got my opinions that apparently are very unpopular, which I didn't even think was possible. Let's take a look. Where are we at? Tyler with the 499. Giannis to the Lakers. If the Lakers have a bad summer and team next year, I'm guessing Luka goes to Orlando. Your thoughts? I think Luka's going to stay in LA. I just think that's who he is. All right, so we have Cavs and Miami hopefully ending tonight. I picked that series to end in 5. I don't think that's going to happen. It's going to be a 4-game sweep. Four-game sweep, yeah. Thunder sweep the Grizzlies. We got that right. We just finished game 4 in this series. The Celtics win. It's been close. Like, the Magic are not playing bad here whatsoever. And I don't know. I watch them, and I just get frustrated with their front office and the lack of urgency with them. But I do think it's, what's the point of rushing these things? If I'm a Magic fan, I feel pretty good about what I've seen, to be honest with you. That game last night was close. Down the stretch, you just didn't have the guys offensively, but that's the problem with your team. Franz has been great. Paolo's been great. Anthony Black's been really solid for you as well in this series, so you feel really good about that. Young guys stepping up. I mean, you've got Corey Joseph starting for you. So it's time to go out. We know Suggs will be back, obviously, but it's time to go out and make some noise this offseason. Anthony Simons was in attendance for one of these games, by the way. Something to think about. Yvonne with the $5. Did you see the Sunday Conversation Luka interview? Highly recommend. It's hilarious. I did see it. I thought it was fine. They honestly just kind of need to build experience. They have a fun and young team. Yeah, but I think this is the summer where you got to do something, though. I don't think you can continue to sit on your hands here and just pray that I don't even know what they're really hoping for with their roster that they currently have. You got to go out and find somebody. Anthony Simons, you got to go out and find a guard that can make shit happen for you. But after game 4, I initially said Boston in 5. I think Boston closes it out at home. I was just about to say, I think the Magic are playing well enough that maybe they can squeeze out a win in Boston, but I don't know. We'll go Boston in 5, 95%. So it feels like we'll get that one right. Houston, Golden State, we've already talked about this one. Oh, no, we haven't talked about. After game 3, which a horrible loss for the Rockets. Golden opportunity to steal one at Chase Center. Jimmy Butler's not playing. You have a double-digit lead in the first half. We know that's nothing, but offensively, they were so fucking putrid down the stretch of this game. Amen Thompson's been rough. It's tough for us, Amen Thompson defenders. He probably can't even start for them. They need floor spacing badly. Şengün can't hold on to the fucking ball for more than 3 seconds. I'm going to go Golden State Warriors, and we'll go 6. 90%. I mean, this series feels done. Worst 2nd seed of all time or best 7th seed of all time? I'd have to sit down and really go through all the best 2nd teams. I did have this conversation with a friend yesterday. Who was worse? This Rockets as a 2nd seed team or the Kings 3 seed team? Which one was worse? I think Asar has been better than Amin in the playoffs, comfortably. The Kings. Who do you think wins that series? Kings, Rockets. That year's Kings team, this year's Rockets team. I sort of feel like the Kings have more shot making down the stretch. Steven Adams bitches a bonus. kind of think the Kings would win that series. Rockets winning 6. That would be interesting. Knicks versus Pistons. Very controversial into this one. Very controversial. The Pistons just couldn't get one at home. A couple of excruciating losses. Probably should have won yesterday, if we're being honest, right? Usually it doesn't come down to one play. And these games never fully come down to one play, right? However, this one, there was a last-second play that should have resulted in the Pistons probably winning the game. Of course, I'm talking about the Tim Hardaway Jr. corner 3. Blatant foul by Josh Hart. And look. I understand, swallow your whistle, playoffs. You don't want to decide a game with a call, stuff like that. This is a blatant foul. Like, I get it if there's a bump or something, or there's maybe marginal contact that maybe only slightly affects the play. This is blatant. And then it doesn't help for Bucks. Pistons fans, do we feel better that they came out 10 minutes after the game and said, yeah, guys, we fucked that up. Our bad. But after game 4, do we think the Knicks close it out? Game 5? I have to say, I've really enjoyed this series. It's been close and competitive. The Pistons are playing really well. If I were a Pistons fan, it sucks that we're down 3-1. But it's hard not to be proud of what we're seeing. And there's some Cade stuff that's a little bit concerning, I guess. But it's his first postseason. Cade missed a shot and put Tim Hardaway Jr. in that position to begin with. Don't feel bad, to be honest. Cade should have made the shot. Yeah, that's fair. But it was a blatant foul, though. But how about Jalen Brunson or farming to the max? Going out with an ankle injury that looked really bad. And then just taking over the fourth quarter. Karl Anthony Towns in back-to-back games down the stretch. That was one of the things I said all series before the series started. If Cat's playing well offensively, we already know what Brunson's going to do. That's already baked into the equation. If Cat plays well offensively, and he's been fantastic, especially down the stretch, there's just the Pistons don't have the firepower offensively, the secondary guys. And hey, Tobias Harris has played great in this series. Tim Hardaway Jr. has made some clutch plays in this series. And it just isn't enough. So do you think the Knicks close it out in 5, or do the Pistons get one more? My initial pick was Knicks in 6. I kind of feel like if it goes back to Little Caesars Arena, the Pistons get one there. They have the longest, I believe it's the longest home losing streak, playoff losing streak of all time at this point now. I think it's Knicks in 6. Do they lose a closeout game in the Garden? Fuck it. Let's go 6. 81%. Let's just stick to our initial prediction. Let's save the Lakers-Minnesota one. After game 4 here, I feel bad that I changed this back. It's over. The series is over. After game 4, it's Indiana in 5. 96% now. That series feels done. Clippers, Nuggets. Where do we go here? 4 games into the series, it's tied 2-2. I think the Clippers have looked like the much better team for the vast majority of this series. The Nuggets have the best player, and he's been fucking unbelievable. Jokic has. I still feel as though the Clippers are the better team, and they'll pull through. But this is an absolute toss-up, though. Yeah, the Clippers should be upset, very upset at themselves that they're in this position. They let game 1 slip right through their grasp. They let game 4 slip right through their fingers. This has Thunder Mavs vibes from last year, Clippers in 6. And that's funny you say that, because I was feeling sort of similarly. You're drinking the Bill Simmons Kool-Aid, bro? I don't think I am. It's what my eyeballs tell me. This is an absolute toss-up. We'll go Clippers in 7. And I don't feel great about it. You just got to win one road game. That's the way you got to look at it for the Clippers. We got to win one road game. One road game and take care of business at home. One road game, which we've already done. We've already won one game on the road. If you're the Nuggets and you lose this series, do you clean house besides Joe? I mean, I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't know what MPJ's value across the league would be. I can't imagine it's high. The same thing with Jamal Murray, honest to God. You might find a desperate team that, like, really needs a guard. I'm down to 53%. I mean, this is a toss-up. I had the same feeling after that horrible Mavs loss in Game 4 versus Thunder, and I know the Mavs had them figured out. That is what it feels like. It feels like the Clippers, if they just play their game, are in control of this series. But now you're going up against the best player in the world, best of 3 series, 2 of them on the road. I don't know. That's tough. Clippers in 7. Denver going to be playing Boban 30-plus minutes in Game 7. It's Mavs all over again. Oh, God. Boban 30 minutes in a Game 7. Unbelievable that happened. Sally hates my horrible, disgusting Nuggets. I really don't. I think you guys have been... I think it's been impressive that this series is tied 2-2. I really do. I really do think it's impressive. Jokic has been fucking awesome. Aaron Gordon was awesome in Game 4. I really don't know. Like, my gut's telling me I think the Clippers are the better team still. I feel that way after 4 games, and they'll figure it out and close this thing out. Jokic has been fine. He's been good. He's been really good, man. I know there's maybe some high Jokic standards, but... Did that Jokic shot count as an assist? No. I saw Nuggets fans who were like, yeah, man, that's I forget what they were calling it. The Serbian oop or something like that. I'm like, all right, come on. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not. I'm not letting you guys get this one off. I'm sorry, I can't. He's so great that his air balls still lead to W's. Yep. All right. So the Lakers are down 3-1. Man, who could have seen this coming, honest to God? It is funny. It is funny, looking back at really the whole lead up to this series. And I'm going to take a little victory lap and pat myself on the back because I came on here pretty much every single day and said, I don't think the Lakers are winning a championship. The Lakers are not a championship team. And you guys yelled at me. I said at the start of the series, I picked the Lakers in 7. I thought it was a toss-up, and I thought that the Timberwolves absolutely could win the series and it'd be competitive, and you guys yelled at me, which is fine. Now they're down 3-1. Where the fuck do we even begin? First and foremost, let's play the blame game. I love you more. That was back when Kanye was not insane. Let's start here. The blame game. Everyone wants to blame somebody. Look, here's the blame. Their team's not good enough. The Lakers aren't good enough. They don't have enough guys. Jackson Hayes stinks. He's fucking terrible. He's awful. He's really bad. He's genuinely horrible, right? He's horrible. Their team's not good enough. They're going up against a deeper Minnesota team. They're going up against a more physical Minnesota team. They're going up against a more athletic Minnesota team. They're going up against a younger Minnesota team. We really overthought this in a lot of ways, I think. People have made good points. And this is funny to me because I want to hear y'all's opinion on this. People have made these points where it's like, oh, we're entering this era where like depth matters more in the NBA. And I think to myself every time I hear that, I'm like, is that a new thing? Like, hasn't it always been you want the most good players on your team? I know we had the Big Three era, but the Big Three era, when you really go back and you think about it, the Big Three era, the Celtics, yeah, they had the Big Three of Ray Allen, KG, and Paul Pierce, obviously, but they also lucked out and had Rajon Rondo turn into Rajon Rondo. Like, they were a good, deep team. The Big Three era is usually mentioned, it's LeBron, it's the Heatles. Well, yeah, but that's fucking LeBron James. Like, that's a different thing entirely. Like, it's different. Every other team that's won since then, it's really only the LeBron teams that fit the Big Three mold when you think about it. Right? And the Heat still had really good teams. It's the weakest link era. I've seen people say this. I saw an article about it, and that's very true. The weakest link era. You're only as good as your weakest link. But, I mean, that's kind of always been the case. I don't know. This isn't like that new of a thing, right? In the Lakers case, they've realized that we only have like 6 guys that we like. And in JJ's case, that became 5 guys. JJ spent money at 5 guys last night. The first coach in the, what was it? The ESPN Stats and Info era, which goes back to the mid-90s. The first coach to play his team 90, or his 5 guys the entire second half. Since 98. First coach. And I'm not going to lie, this actually kind of surprised me that it hadn't happened before in like a super desperate attempt to win a game. Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, Luka Dončić, Austin Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith played every second of the second half. Every single second of the second half. Unbelievable. How can you expect to win like that? That's just preposterous. How can you expect to win like that? You're telling me you couldn't have snuck in 2 minutes of rest for one of these guys? Just a quick little 60-second breather 2 different times for one of these guys? You couldn't have just sent Goodwin out there for 60 seconds in this game? You couldn't have sent Gabe Vincent or Vando out there for 60 seconds just to give some guys a little break? Luka's 26. We know his conditioning concerns. LeBron is 40 fucking years old. Like, what are we doing? What actually are we doing? And what's crazy is I was watching Inside the NBA after the Bucks game last night, and Chuck made this point, and it's a good point. It's like, this is game 4. Like, if it were game 7 or something, okay. All right. Like, if it were game 7, okay. Yeah, you had to leave it all out there. Game 4, you got to win 3 more. And you just played all of these guys 46 minutes, 24 minutes with no break. In game 4. I just don't get, when you're already at a physicality disadvantage, you're already at an athleticism disadvantage, you're going to get fucking cooked down the stretch. You're going to get cooked. You're not going to match up with the younger, more athletic, more physical team. You're not going to match up a deeper team. Just a shocking decision. I mean, really a shocking decision. But they were winning until they started playing AR and the rest for the rest of the game. I mean, they had a double-digit lead at one point in the second half. They had a 12-point lead at one point in the second half with all these guys. So now they got to play another game. They just played a full fucking second half. Unbelievable. So the blame game. I mean, their team's not good enough. I told you guys this shit, man. This team's not good enough. This team's not good enough to go on a run. They don't have the pieces. They don't have the guys. Look around. Look at the Celtics about to win a Game 1 series. They've had guys in and out the lineup. The Cavs insanely deep. The Thunder insanely deep. The Thunder are playing a 10-man rotation in the playoffs. And it just doesn't matter. The Thunder can pull off 30-point come from behind victories because they're all fresh. They're all young. They fly around the court. They can just ramp it up to another level defensively because they're young. They're athletic. So I was Jokic able to tie it 2-2 with the Clippers, but Luka can't tie it up with Minnesota. I thought he's the best player in the world to you slightly. I have not said Luka's the best player in the world this season. I said it last season. They'd be calling JJ a genius if they won, though. No, I think I'd have the same exact stance. I would be saying, hey, series is tied. Lakers did their job, but they just had to play all of these guys the entire second half. They are in trouble. But also, and I didn't realize this was a controversial opinion, but I guess it is. To me, it's not controversial at all, and it's not even remotely debatable, in my opinion. Look, the Timberwolves deserve so much credit here. It's easy to play the blame game. What have the Lakers done wrong? The Timberwolves deserve so much credit. They've played a great series. Anthony Edwards has played a great series. And just full stop, he's been the best player in this series. That's it. There's not a lot of blame to go around. The Timberwolves are deeper, they're younger, they're more physical. And they've had the best player in this series. People got upset at me with that. People got upset at me. I had this big debate on my playback stream about it. People got mad on Twitter about it. People were killing Jason Timp for saying it. This isn't even up for debate for me. I don't even know how you could argue this whatsoever. Crazy world we got after you first Hunter message. You hate Luka. Now will you shut up? Huh? Randall has been better than Ant. No, he hasn't. Anthony Edwards has been far and away the best player in this series. The only thing Ant is better at is he's healthier. He's been excellent on defense. He's guarding Luka's better than Ant, but in the series, Ant has been 100% better. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. There's not... Just saying a player's been better in a series does not mean this player's better as a player. Game 1 and 2, Luka was better. Over the course of the series, Anthony Edwards has been a much better player. Here's the series stats, okay? 30 points per game for Anthony Edwards, 45% from the field, 43% from deep, 9 attempts a game, 82% from the free throw line. 8 rebounds, just rounding up on some of these. 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.5 turnovers. Luka, 30 points, 46% from the field, 47% from deep, 9.5 attempts a game. 93% from the free throw line, so it's nice to see that he's learned to shoot free throws. Recent bias as fuck. Okay, these are the series stats. Okay, Ant's averaging more rebounds. Ant's averaging more assists, less turnovers, and 0.8 points less. Those are the series stats. Julian with the 499 just got back from the Bahamas and I didn't see a Mavs player. Wishful thinking. That would have been funny. LeBron in this series, if you want to throw him in there. 26 points per game, 50, 40, 82, 9.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 2.5 turnovers. And you got to shout out this for LeBron is that his defense has been great at times. He ramps it up. He had some plays last game down the stretch. 4.3 stocks per game for LeBron. Okay, all right. Yeah, a bad turnover by LeBron there down the stretch. A bad three-point shot, ill-advised three-point shot. So those are the series stats. That's not even factoring in Anthony Edwards defensively has been good in this series. Swiggly, 29 months. Timberwolves play better and more well-rounded. Now let's dive a little bit deeper because the game is 48 minutes long, okay? And 2 of these games have come down to the wire. Second half of games this series so far. Anthony Edwards, 17 points per game, 45% from the field, 44% from deep, 91% from the free throw line, 13 assists, only 3 turnovers, plus 38 in 83 second half minutes. Luka, 13 points, 44% from the field, 33% from deep, not bad, 100% from the free throw line, that's nice. 8 assists, 10 turnovers. So more turnovers and assists in the second half of games. Minus 28 in 85 minutes. LeBron, 9.5 points per game, 39% from the field, 33% from deep, 13 assists, 6 turnovers. Minus 29 in 82 minutes. Fourth quarter. Anthony Edwards, 7.5 points per game. In the fourth, 43% from the field, 41% from deep, 100% from the free throw line. Just completely and totally dominating the fourth quarter of these games. Completely and totally dominating the fourth quarter of these games. taking the games over. It's been shocking to see how dominant the Timberwolves have been in the fourth quarter of these games over the Lakers, because that was the thing. Like, I mean, all of the things that we said at the top, that the Timberwolves are younger, they're more athletic, they're more physical, they have more size, especially in their front court. That was all stuff we knew going into the series, and those were talking points. That's why I said the series was going to be competitive in a toss-up series, right? The end-of-game stuff is why I went with the Lakers instead of the Timberwolves. Was I thought, if it gets down the stretch and it's a 3-point game with 5 minutes left, who do I trust more? I trust LeBron and Luka over Anthony Edwards. LeBron in the fourth quarter, 5.3 points per game, 35% from the field, 33% from deep, 100% from the free throw line, 7 assists, 5 turnovers, minus 34 in 40 minutes. 3 steals, 5 blocks in the fourth quarter of the series. We have to throw that out there. Luka in the fourth quarter, 5 points per game, 29% from the field, 16% from deep. Has made all of his free throws. 1 assist, 3 turnovers, minus 31 in 38 minutes. And then in clutch time, if we want to go even deeper, 2 of these games have been decided in the clutch. All of these guys have played 7 minutes in 2 clutch games. 10 points for Anthony Edwards on 3 shots, 2 assists, no turnovers, plus 14. Luka, 2 points, 1 of 3 shooting, 1 assist, no turnovers, minus 14. LeBron, 0 points, 1 assist, 1 turnover, minus 14. It looks like Ant saw what he struggled with last year, playmaking, decision-making, fix it, and it looks amazing. On top of that, his 3-point shooting has just turned into this, I mean, just, I don't know what we're seeing, really. If this is who Anthony Edwards is from 3 moving forward, I mean, it definitely changes his trajectory as a player. Because some of these threes he's hitting are tightly contested. No, this isn't a fuck Luka arc. This is a Anthony Edwards has been a bad motherfucker arc. And that's it. The series has been incredibly close. The Timberwolves are a deeper, more well-rounded team. And Anthony Edwards has been the best player and has picked his team up in the fourth quarter of games. Ant isn't much better than Luka or LeBron. His teammates are better. Yeah, true. But I do think Ant's been the best player in this series, for sure. You forgot about Luka like they forgot about Dre? I didn't forget about Luka. I just talked about him. And on top of that, yeah, I thought game 2, Luka was really solid defensively. Like, really solid and deserved a lot of praise. I think the 3 other games, I do not think he's been good defensively at all. NBA fans, when you try to praise a player without shitting on someone else, LA have no perimeter defense. Anthony Edwards killing isn't a surprise. No, and he's taking care of business, man. And I just think I've seen people do the Anthony Edwards stuff where it's like, well, yeah, but in this game, he only had this. Like, if you just watch the games, Anthony Edwards is playing so well down the stretch of these games, is really propelling his team to wins down the stretch of this game. It's been incredible to watch. It's been incredible to watch. And I mean, I tweeted this out after game 3, I think it was, that this could be the Anthony Edwards postseason. Like, we're sleeping on that very real possibility. Whatever team comes out of the series, and I'm not ready to say the series is absolutely over, by the way, but whatever team comes out of this series is probably going to get a pretty favorable second round matchup. Let's take into account how much the Lakers in 5 meme has many Laker fans delusional as well. Oh, trust me, I know. When we picked this series, you would have thought I said the Lakers were getting swept by the reaction of me saying Lakers in 7. So, do you think Luka will win a chip when Braun retires? Do you think they have 1 to 2 years of being somewhat mid again before real contention? So I was thinking about this yesterday too. Austin Reeves, I thought played pretty well in the second half of this game. Played really well in the third quarter. I saw it. Lakers fans saying, "Oh, if this is how the series is going to go, trade Austin Reeves. We got to get rid of Austin Reeves." I'd say be very careful. Be very, very careful. I mean, if it's involved in like a really big trade or they get someone big, that's fine. But LeBron's 40. I'm assuming if you trade Reeves, you're probably going to attach picks to whatever trade that is. What happens if LeBron says next year is it? That means you have a 1-year window. Because you'd be out of your tradable draft assets. You'd be out of your tradable draft assets, pick-wise. Your young talent really isn't moving many people. And you just traded Austin Reeves, who was your sort of, he's also pretty young. When LeBron retires, we can have Reeves, Luka, sort of 1-2 punch ball handling wise. Just saying. And then you're going to find yourself in the same exact situation the Mavs have found themselves in at times, which was, we got to find a fucking ball handler to put next to Luka. We don't have any. Now, the advantage the Lakers have is they're the Lakers. And for some reason, some stars just fall into their lap 24/7. So, I'm just saying, be careful of trading Reeves. If it's for like another star, okay. You think Luka signs the extension? I really don't know. And they don't have a Giannis package. At least I don't think so. You think Luka stays if he has to play whole halves? I mean, I do think Luka stays. I don't want to. Reeves and Hutchmore for Giannis. Heard it here first. Hell yeah. Lake Show. Like, honestly, they're no better situation than Mavs. Just because you have Luka does not mean they're title contenders. Any year, the NBA has roughly 4 to 5 real contenders, and that's it. Yeah, no, this Lakers team was never a title contender this year at any point. At any point. Nuggets losing 7, blowing another 20-point lead, and the Kroenke pulls a Nico. I don't want to do the Luka's going to leave thing. I don't think he's going to, honestly. Yeah, I mean, who like it's way too early to say that. They're going to be aggressive in the offseason. I'm just saying, be careful. If that aggressiveness means trading away Austin Reeves, I'm not sure about that. Just saying, be careful what you wish for, because you do have regular seasons to play. And look, Luka hasn't been the picture of health over the last few years. You're going to miss games. You want another ball handler to take the load off of not just Luka, but what will be a 41-year-old LeBron James next year. Like, be careful. Be careful. Luka's conditioning is garbage and he has no defense. The Lakers should let him go. He won't change. Yeah, I mean, I saw Jason Timpf got shitted on for the first time because he made a similar point about the conditioning stuff. I sort of feel like this year was a lost cause with all the injuries and having to play your way back into shape. And then he was sick in game 4. It's a perfectly valid excuse. Or game 3, I guess I should say. Where was the tweet? My first impression rooting for Luka is that he pretty consistently runs out of gas at the end of games. It's no secret, but the next step for him is conditioning. It was wild watching 40-year-old LeBron go defensive demon down the stretch while Luka looked lifeless. So, I mean, it was never going to happen this year. It's why we were saying all the time post-trade. I did not think Luka was going to reach a point physically where he was at the best possible shape at any point this year. This isn't that much of a surprise. Just a season just destroyed by injuries and the trade and shit like that. Honestly, though, I don't think LeBron can help change Luka's conditioning either. Why is all sports media acting like it's finals or bust for Luka and the Lakers? I don't think finals or bust is right, but I mean, being down 3-1 in round one is pretty significant. Like that's a talking point. If the Lakers lost in the conference finals to the Thunder, which I guess is still on the table, lost in the conference finals to the Thunder, I don't think too many like super logical people are making insane or are jumping to insane conclusions. But 3-1 against the Timberwolves, that's the plight of being Luka. He gets all the blame and none of the credit. No, that's not true. That's not true. I do not think he leaves. No, it's not true. Luka gets no credit, really. Like, come on, guys. It's worse for the Lakers because they are higher seed this series, so you're the favorite. This series was always way closer than people were saying. Way closer. But yeah, but this has been a trend of Luka's career where the second half sort of fall off. I mean, everyone's calling him fat and shit. So, dude, I mean, I've done this all the time. This is the reality. You're a top 3 player in the world. There's expectations that come with that, and there's going to be criticisms that come with that, and unfair criticisms. That just comes with the territory. That just comes with the territory. There's no reason to get so hyper fixated on some of the insane talking points from insane talking heads. It's how I feel with LeBron stance. It's like, really, are you guys really like getting worked up again by another thing Skip Bayless said? Like, who at this point it's established what's going on here. Like at this point it's established. At this point it's established what's going on with Stephen A. Smith. Like we already know this. We don't need to get worked up every time someone says something that we don't agree with. LA fans telling Luka to dye his teeth white? Wait, what? What? I haven't seen that. I have to say I don't see that. I have yet to see that one. That's true. You can't judge this team without Maxi Kleber. That's a great point. Maxi Kleber is a playoff riser. We do know that. Are you coming around on the trade? No. I don't get worked up. Added a lot of slow hoops, just something I've noticed. I mean, he was first team All-NBA 5 years in a row. Like to say that he doesn't get props, I just think I think you're just hyper fixating on the negative stuff because it's easier to do that. Like I don't think there was anybody, especially last year at least, who would have said Luka wasn't a top 3 player in the league. Luka is at a point where he's getting a shit ton of critics before winning when they do 180 on him as a tale's old as time. This happens exactly. Thank you. This happens to every star. We talked about this last night on the playback stream. This happened with Giannis. This happened with Jokic. Like once you reach a point where you get about a 2 to 3 year window where we love you, you're incredible, you can do no wrong in our eyes. Then it becomes, okay, are you going to start winning at some point? Like, because that's what we're drawn to. Are you going to start winning at some point? If not, then we're going to start shitting on you. It happened to Dirk. It's happened to everyone. If the Thunder don't win this year or go on like a deep run or whatever, it will happen to Shea. It will happen to Ant, absolutely. If it already hasn't at this point. I do think I've seen some stuff, some criticisms of him. Dirk got it really fucking bad. Dirk got it terribly bad. And yeah, I know Luka made the finals last year. And to be fair, I feel like the negative Luka stuff doesn't... I feel like it's gone down significantly versus where it was last year. Like, it was pretty bad. After the Mavs missed the play-in, it was bad. But I feel like after making the finals, I really haven't seen too many crazy things. Outside of, like, Kendrick Perkins every now and then saying some stupid shit. I haven't seen too many, like, no, Luka's actually not good because like those takes were going around. There were people who were like, yeah, I have this like analytical model that says Luka's actually just like not a good player. Those were happening. That was happening. Luka has no excuse for not having conditioning when Jokic is 4 years older, 7 feet, 285 pounds, and has better conditioning. Yeah, Luka's got to get his conditioning better. I mean, who are you telling? I've said this a million times. I get fucking yelled at, but it's true. His conditioning has to be better. His numbers in the second half tail off. He's been awful in the fourth quarter of these series. And yeah, I know he just played a whole second half. He had the flu in game 3. Like, yeah, that's fine. But, and again, I got to say this, right? For me, my expectations for Luka are up here because I think he can reach up here. And there's just, that's a different territory. Right? There's different expectations. There's different things that are required out of those type of players. And maybe that's not fair. Maybe that's not fair to Luka. But that's how good, I think he could be a top 10 player of all time, top 15 player of all time. Go look at the resumes of those guys. We're saying multiple time champion. Pretty much you have to be a multiple time champion to be in those conversations. He's got to get conditioning. He's got to get the conditioning down, right? And I think I think he has gotten much better with the refs. I mean, you'll never get to him to the point where he doesn't do it, but I think he has gotten much better with the refs over the last couple of years. There's still a few games that's frustrating, but there were times like 2 years ago where it was literally every fucking play. It was like, dude. He's gotten better. He's gotten much better at it. Do you think he'll get the MVPs with all the young guys like Wemby and Flag? Luka will absolutely get at least one MVP in his career. Absolutely. No, he'll get one. Oh, you're saying LeBron come back down 3-1? So anyways, Luka needs to get to a point where it doesn't tail off in the fourth quarter like it does at times with him. That's because you look at some of these other guys in the league, like, yeah, Jokic's motor is fucking absurd. And it's part of what makes Jokic one of the greatest players in the history of the game. His motor's unbelievable for somebody his size and with the load that he has and with the physicality of his game. That motor's insane. It's part of what makes Jokic. It's part of what made LeBron. It's funny. I saw a TikTok recently, and it was Al Horford talking about the 2018 conference finals, Celtics Cavs, when LeBron was just on another planet entirely. And he said, Game 7, the Celtics, this young Celtics team, outside of Horford, who wasn't even that old at the time, really. But the young Celtics team was just gassed. Like a fourth quarter stoppage, they were absolutely gassed walking back to the bench. And LeBron was just standing at the scorer's table, barely phased. And how it felt scary as shit. Like, Luka has to reach that point somehow. Horford's been 40 years old for the past 10 years. Yeah, he really has. Slovenia has no other choice but him. At least if Jokic takes summers off, they have Bogdanovic. Yeah, I mean, good luck ever telling Luka that maybe a summer off from Slovenia is a good idea. It ain't going to happen. I mean, especially not this year with Eurobasket. And I'm not saying, like, LeBron's one of one. I'm not saying Luka needs to be like LeBron. React to Perkins' video. What is Perkins saying, man? I don't care at all. What is Kendrick Perkins saying? The issue between Luka and Jokic is center, so he just stand in the post doing nothing. Kendrick Perkins says he sees Nico Harrison's vision. Anthony Edwards is going to win a championship before Luka Dončić. Anthony Edwards is built different. Ant is a better all-around basketball player than Luka Dončić.
When it comes down to
this is such a waste
the
of time.
reason why he traded Luka because he felt.
So this is what I was going back to later. Don't get worked up about shit that Kendrick Perkins is saying. He's an ESPN talking head. He's planted his flag. Luka's going to be the talk of the town for years to come. He's on the Lakers now. Like, let's plant our flag. I'm going to be a hater of him. This is going to be my shtick and my gimmick for the next 6, 7, 8 years. Similar to Stephen A. Smith hating LeBron, Skip Bayless hating LeBron, Shannon Sharp, who are we allowed to talk about anymore? Shannon Sharp becoming a LeBron Glazer. Like that's you plant your flag. That's your shtick.
You can't. The Dallas Mavericks were not going to be able to win a championship with Luka. We all know this. I didn't feel that way watching the game, looking at Anthony Edwards. I'm saying to myself, Anthony Edwards is going to win a championship before Luka Dončić. Anthony Edwards is built different. Anthony Edwards is a better all-around basketball player than Luka Dončić. Now, we could talk, I could come on here like I did earlier in the segment. I could blame J.J. Redick, rightfully so, for the minutes that he played LeBron James at 40 years old. But like I said, Luka is young. He should have been able to play those 24 minutes straight. Anthony Edwards did, and Anthony Edwards thrived in those minutes. And so when I look at what he's done and what he's doing, not only did he send KD home last year, he sent Jokic home last year. He's now about to send LeBron and Luka home this season because they're going to win this series. And think about this for a second. In the next round, he could possibly be facing Steph Curry. And guess what? What if he send them home, which he absolutely has a chance to send Steph Curry packing. This man is just built different. And
Yes,
it's
he
not
is.
just about the 40-plus points and the assists and the
defends.
rebounds. He defends his ass off. He wanted smoke with LeBron. He wanted smoke with Luka.
Look, I agree with him about Anthony Edwards. I don't think he's a better all-around player than Luka. But this is like, why can't we be like, Anthony Edwards is having an unbelievable series. He's been incredible this postseason. He's been great. Why do you have to say he's actually better than Luka? This all could have been correct about he's better than Luka. Straight up.
That's what I like. He wanted smoke with Austin Reeves. I'm looking at Anthony Edwards and I'm saying to myself,
Look at the conversations that they have put Austin Reeves in. This is another part of the reason why I was like, I don't think the Lakers are that big of contenders. Like, the Austin Reeves stuff was getting out of fucking control. He wants smoke with Austin Reeves. Dude, Ant's like 20 times better than Austin Reeves. He should want smoke with Austin Reeves. Like, Ant's 50 times better than him. You said the same thing on this stream, my guy. When did I say Ant is better than Luka at basketball? When did I say that?
he is a top 5 player in the game today. Today. If I'm starting a franchise, yes,
top
we know
2.
we have Jokic, we have Giannis, we have those guys, but damn it, you better not overlook Anthony Edwards.
You're saying it every time you talk about the Lakers? I have never once said that. I've said Ant's been the best player in this series. I think that's part of the problem when you guys get so worked up about anti-Luka things is you hear things that don't exist. Yeah, Perkins straight up saying it. Sadly, Ant has been the best player in the series. This is Ant. You went through the stats and showed Ant was better in the second half. Again, Perkins is saying Anthony Edwards is a better all-around basketball player than Luka Dončić. I'm saying Anthony Edwards is having the best series out of any player in this series. How do you get to that conclusion that I said what you think I said? That I said this? Like that's what I don't. This is what frustrates me sometimes. You can't say that and still dick ride Luka, my man. Okay, first and foremost, I don't dick ride Luka. Like, let's just start there. I've gotten in trouble many a times because I don't do it. And being a better player in the series is just a fact. That doesn't mean he's a better player overall. I know. Like, seriously, nobody. Actually, I don't know. Maybe after the series, it would be a little bit different. But the overwhelming majority of people, if you were to do a poll right now, which player are you taking, Luka or Ant, on your team moving forward? Almost everyone would pick Luka. If you factor in defense, how is Ant not a better overall player than Luka? I'm taking Ant. Well, Luka's just more consistent offensively. He's a much better playmaker than Anthony Edwards is. He's just a better scorer, more versatile scorer. He's bigger. We're in a world where you're a Glazer or a hater. It seems you didn't get the memo. No, trust me, I've gotten the memo for a long time on this subject, unfortunately for me. I have fought this battle many a times. Perk said everything you said and then said Luka is a better all-around player. And that one sentence you're mad about, but is Luka or Ant better at defense? I don't know what point you're trying to make. Anthony Edwards is a better defensive player than Luka Dončić, okay? You cannot, like, I'm not here to argue that. That's just a waste of my time. Like, what point are you trying to make? Like, yes, Perkins, I literally said, Perkins is saying all the stuff I said, that Ant's been incredible this playoffs. What's there to say that's wrong about that? Sarah with the 499. Fans so reactionary. Every bad game is the end of a career. If one player is great, the other must be a fraud. Can we just enjoy the breadth of talent? Ant is playing better than Luka right now. Person one, stop dick riding Luka. Person two, excuse me, did you just say Ant is better overall? Yeah, I mean, that's really what's happening. That's really what's going on. I do love Ant. You guys know that. I think Ant is incredibly fun to watch. I love how much fuck you he has in his game. It's incredible. It's part of why I love Luka so much too. Love it. Am I the one in here who doesn't think Luka's the atrocious defender everyone makes him out to be? No, Luka, when Luka's locked in, is a fine defensive player. When Luka's locked in, he's a fine defensive player. So I love you, my guy. It's funny how you are mad at Perk when you agree. I'm not mad at Perk. I didn't even want to listen to this. And I don't agree. Like, I think this is the disconnect between you and I. I don't agree that Ant is a better all-around basketball player. I have never once said that, and I don't even remotely come close to thinking it. I do think that Ant has had a better series so far. Look, as a seasoned Luka dick rider, I'm going to tell you guys a secret. This is Luka's Dark Night of the Soul. The Mavs are tailor-made for Luka. The Lakers currently are not. Yeah, no, that's true. be honest with you. Luka's had a few dark night of the souls. We've thought that there was going to be, this is the moment for Luka. We've had several of those. Paul with the 5. Sometimes it amazes me how often Slightly Biased agrees with Perkins. Yeah, me and Perk are in lockstep. Me and Perk we share similar thoughts. Anyways, by the way, let's go back to this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not counting the Lakers out. It's scary because they're not as well-rounded of a team. The Timberwolves smell blood in the water, and this will be really interesting to see. I'm so interested to see what Game 5 looks like because I could see a scenario where the Timberwolves say, "Dude, fuck this team." Like the Timberwolves have this in them and has this in them, where the Timberwolves say, "Fuck this team. Let's go on the road, Staples Center, Crypto Center, and let's punch them in the mouth. Game 5 early. Like let's do to them what Luka and the Mavs did to us last year in Game 5 at home. Let's go in there and just punch them in the mouth. They just played a whole second half and lost. I promise you we can demoralize them quickly." I think that could happen. I also think that the Timberwolves could come out, be a little, be a little over assertive, and the Lakers could take advantage of that with their experience. But obviously, yeah, we're changing this to Minnesota. I'll go 6. 65%. I'm still not ready to count them out. Four days between games is a long break. Y'all reading into this minutes played too much? Well, not really, because they were clearly and totally gassed by the end of it. 2 days off. Not 4 days. And they got 2 days off. That's not that crazy. Lakers whistle's going to, in Game 5, going to be crazy. Well, there's Lakers fans who think the series has been rigged against them, which is just hilarious. Hilarious thought process. Watching the filth fuck Lakers lose is pure therapy, regardless of where Luka is playing. 65, that's too low. I'm not ready to say this series is done. Not ready. But what is interesting is the Thunder are just kicking their feet up, sweep. Yeah, we had to lock in a little bit, but sweep. We get what, like a week off at least? Week off. Lakers, Denver, Clippers, Nuggets are killing each other. Warriors and Rockets are in a bloodbath series, even though it might not be that long. They're still in a bloodbath series. Timberwolves, Lakers are killing each other. I mean, we're just sitting back, watching it all unfold. More views, Luka's second game back to Dallas or Paige versus Caitlin Clark. Well, Paige versus Caitlin Clark's going to do gangbusters. But I do think Luka's return. I mean, Luka's return is one of the biggest things. Honestly, getting more rest makes you rusty. Are you guys starting to change your tune? Some of you starting to change your tune on the Thunder a little bit. And be honest, it's okay. It's okay to be honest here. Are some of you starting to change your tune a little bit? No. I'm here. I'm here. Hey, I'm here if you guys want to apologize, or if you guys want to maybe say, hey, maybe you were a little bit right. You think they can come back from 3-1? I'm not saying it's an impossibility, but I'm not going to pick them to. Oh, say OKC going to get bounced out in the second round? Nah, man. No. Maybe if the Clippers win, you could talk me into it. I think the league might be really screwed for a long time unless your team has Wemby. Well, we say that, and it goes back to stuff I said at the top with the Bucks. These things change quickly. Windows close quickly. Who's going to guard Ben Simmons around 2? Ben Simmons. Predict the OKC second round outcome of Nuggets Clips go to game 7. Oh, I think the Thunder would make quick work of the Nuggets. Quick work. Clippers, you can maybe talk me into that being like a competitive series. I don't see how a Nuggets Thunder series would be competitive, really. Besides Jokic just going absolute God mode. Like the best, one of the best playoff series we've ever seen. They don't have the pieces. You think OKC can handle Nuggets depth? Alex Lynn got to look in the mirror and say, "What, man? I've had a fortunate NBA career. I'm still sticking around." Mirror, mirror on the wall. Why must Austin Reeves stumble and fall? Lakers' dreams seem to fade as playoff hopes in doubt are laid. Heartbroken fan. Hashtag Lakers Nation. All right, folks. Buckle up. It's going to be an interesting week. We're going to send some teams packing this week. These probably going to send a team home tonight in Miami. Thank God. Thank God. Bucks season could end tomorrow night. Pistons season could end tomorrow night. Magic season could end tomorrow night. Lakers season could end on Wednesday night. Can you imagine, man? Can you imagine? Oh, brother. Thoughts on inside the park home run for the Giants slightly? Yeah, I mean, I don't know about this Rangers team. I know their record's pretty good. And I've had the game on, at least every game I've had it on. They're 15-13, so it's not even that great anymore. In an American league, that's been really weird. No one's really separating themselves, right? But I don't think this Rangers team is good in their current form. I don't think they're good right now. I think they're lucky to be scraping by at the time, but they need to figure it out quickly, or else I think they're probably due like a pretty significant losing stretch. That's just the reality. If their lineup doesn't turn around, they're probably going to have like a 10, 15 game stretch that's brutally bad. So that's where I'm at with them. I'm worried about them. I really am. I really, really am. Well, that's with the 199, 100 men versus Gorilla. What number spot are you taking last? But I will say this conversation has reached a point on Twitter that it is funny. 100 men are beating a gorilla. Like, let's get fucking serious. This isn't even something that's up for debate with me. 100 men are beating a gorilla. Easily. Like, let's get serious. You don't know ball? No. Let's get serious. Do you know the violence that humans are capable of? Honestly. Let's just Google search it. How many men can beat a gorilla? This is the number 2 Google search right now. While a gorilla's strength is significantly greater than an individual's humans, 100 unarmed men could potentially beat a single adult male gorilla. Right, but we're taking casualties. We know that. It's going to be like storming the beaches of Normandy. We're going to take casualties. That's cool. Let's see what Reddit has to say. There's got to be some scientist or some shit. Right, I mean, being able to arm yourself with rocks, give me 5, 6 human men, right? Give me 6 men with rocks, and we're taking down that gorilla. Like, let's be honest. If I could fashion a dagger out of a stick, give me 5 men, and we're taking down a gorilla. Like, this happened. This happened back in the day. 6 men with rocks, you don't think are beating a gorilla. 6 men with rocks. Oh, you're out of your mind. Come on, that's crazy. Now, I guess the question is, am I just going to fucking the Chili's bar and picking up 6 guys and we're going? Okay, that's different. Am I maybe getting like a couple weeks of training Do you guys realize what rocks are capable of? The biggest factor is probably how bloodthirsty people are. Most people wouldn't be willing to bite a gorilla or try to scoop out its eyes. I mean, you're going to take casualties. That goes without being said. You need about 7 to 8. This guy says I need 7 to 8 unarmed men. And you guys are saying 6 men with rocks couldn't do it. The goal is to not attack the gorilla at all. You don't even need to surround the gorilla so it gets desperate. You stay together and face it in defensive but harassing posture. You take quick jab steps at it. Step back. Endless harassment is the goal. Take turns resting and stay awake longer than the gorilla can stand. Eventually it becomes exhausted and you can game kill it. So people need to understand, this is the human secret. This is the human secret right here. This is how we are able to evolve. This is how we are able to survive for thousands of years in the wild. Thousands of years living in caves, killing animals that are way bigger and stronger than us. Humans' persistence, humans' endurance. It's on another level. Give me a break. Humans used to chase animals until they got tired and died. They didn't fight them. They just chased them. We will chase you until you get tired and die. Yeah, y'all don't respect the humans. Have some fucking respect for your home team. I mean, Jesus Christ. Have some respect for your home team. Gorillas are just going to let you wear it out, bro? But gorillas aren't like uber aggressive. The gorilla people say it takes 5 men. How many humans does it take to beat a gorilla? I mean, look at these little guys. First and foremost, I would never want to do this to a gorilla. They're some of the coolest creatures on the planet. I mean, look how fucking cool they are. They're so cool. First and foremost, let's start there. I hate even doing this. Shout out to my gorilla brothers and sisters. Right. Gorillas are sick. Now let's get into as earlier mentioned, the gorilla may charge on people, which is a rare occasion. They're not aggressive creatures. Paul at the $2. U.S. elections took my respect for people. Gorillas, we do love you. This could be a total threat. There are some of the precautions you need to know and follow while you're on your visit to Africa to see gorillas, in the presence of gorillas, in case it charges. Never run away, since a human can't be faster than a gorilla. Okay? Armed park rangers will always be there to protect trekkers, but shooting a gorilla will be thought of as a last resort. Case of attack for a gorilla, you need to study how gorillas behave, stay calm, and try to look away or groom the gorilla's hands. When the gorilla is fighting people, it beats one by one until the last person. Wait. This article doesn't even say anything. Oh, wait. Therefore, even if the gorilla is energetic as you think, the number of people to beat a gorilla differs depending on how energetic the people are, but on average, 5 people can beat a single gorilla. This means that one man can never beat the gorilla since the gorilla... No one's saying anyone can one-on-one a gorilla. You're getting fucked up if you try to one-on-one a gorilla. Let's be honest. The first original question was 100 straight 1v1s. Oh, 100 straight 1v1s? I mean, okay. Yeah, you're probably getting fucked up. Although I will say, the gorilla's probably really tired by the 50th one-on-one. Right, and I agree, right? I'm saying the average one person's not doing it. Me, on the other hand, that's a different conversation. I'm getting in there, and I'm having a conversation straight up with the gorilla, first and foremost. Just trying to settle this like men, eye to eye. Yo, listen, this is a fucked up situation we find ourselves in. Right, and then I'm handling it that way, starting with diplomacy, and then we're moving our way. That's another thing humans have, diplomacy, right? We're starting with diplomacy, and then we're moving our way towards violence if needed. And I tell the gorilla this, listen, man, I'm a Texan, you know? And then the gorilla understands exactly what I'm saying. I'm letting the gorilla know I respect them, absolutely. Trying to fill out the vibes, all of this. I'm telling the gorilla, look, man, I lived in Lubbock for 5 years. Just throwing that out there. I was robbed. I have survived shooting. Just throwing that out there. I went to public school in the United States and had to live in fear every day. The gorilla understands that. So these experts think 5 people can beat a single gorilla. Now, 100 straight one-on-ones, yeah, you're getting fucked up. That's stupid. 100 straight one-on-ones, yeah, you're absolutely. I didn't realize that was the conversation. Absolutely. No one wants to fight a gorilla. Stalingrad level casualties, but we are doing the USSR World War II approach. We're just throwing, we're throwing meat shields out there, basically. We're throwing human shields. And we're going to take casualties. And it ain't going to be pretty. It's going to be a meat grinder. So, 100 straight one-on-ones, okay. A 100 straight one-on-ones, I honestly still think the gorilla probably dies of exhaustion at some point. The first couple are just quick little one-hitter kills. Now, once we get to 20, 30, we have a scouting report on the gorilla. We're starting to feel the gorilla out a little bit. We know its weaknesses. We know how it likes to attack, right? We're starting to prolong these fights. It's like getting a pitcher's pitch count up in baseball, right? Early on, pitcher's dealing. Later, we're going to grind out some at-bats. 7, 8 pitches, 9 pitches. Hey, I might have struck out. Hey, gorilla, you might have caved my skull in, but you had to work for it a little bit. And by the 50th guy, the gorilla's at 120 pitches and laboring. By the 70th guy, we're at 200. By the 80th guy, we're at 240. What about a silverback versus 100 Discords mods? Oh, they're cooked. It was 100 men, yes. I didn't realize it was 100 one-on-ones. I thought I was just, can 100 men collectively beat a gorilla? The question is yes. Like, let's get serious. If it's not a one-on-one, you're out of your mind. I can't believe this is something that people even think wouldn't happen. But yeah, what do you even do with 100 men? Like, come on, man. Have some respect for your home team, the humans. It's like, what do you think the Mavs should do this offseason? They should put a gorilla in their training facility. And that's how you make the team. You got to go one-on-one versus a gorilla if you want to play for this fucking team. When the gorilla rips off the first guy's head, what does that do for the other 99 guys? Well, look, if you're in a situation where if you're in this situation, 100 men versus one gorilla, you got to sit them down and say, guys, look, some of you are going to die brutal deaths, okay? And honestly, the first couple guys will probably get it the easiest because you are just going to have your face caved in, and it's going to be quick and painless probably. 20th, 30th guy, you're probably going to die, but it's probably going to be slow and agonizing. But if you're the 40th, 50th, 60th guy, you've got a chance to win this thing. That's just the reality. No, you start by throwing in some human shields, some cannon fodder at the start. You throw some of your weakest links out there to start this thing. Because the reality is a fully rested gorilla is going to rip apart anybody one-on-one. So you just throw your worst out there immediately. I say about 30 or so is where you start considering your big guys. 30 to 40 is where you start considering throwing out the big guns. If you're listening to this on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. I love you. So give us your locker room speech before this gorilla encounter. Sit down and shut up, everyone. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's pretty fucked up what's about to happen out there. There's 100 of you in here. I'm looking at all of you eye to eye. A lot of you probably won't make it back into this room. They don't believe in you. You heard the talk on Twitter. Nobody believes in you. Now, here's the plan. Timmy, you're first up. What the fuck? I don't want to be. Timmy, you're first up. Listen, it's been a great run, Timmy. And we believe in you. And you're going to go out there. You're going to make that gorilla work his ass off. He's going to crush me. He might. He just might. Look at your teammates. Are you willing to go to battle for them? Are you willing to go to war for the man next to you? Then shut the fuck up, Timmy, and get out there. We're going to save our big guns. Big Johnny, you're 40th. Guy 20. Billy, you're going 20th. Let's work that count. Let's work them. You might not beat them. In fact, you probably won't beat them. I'm just going to be honest with you because you deserve that. You probably won't beat them, but let's work them. Let's make them work. Let's make them move. Let's wear them out a little bit. Let's throw a couple punches. Let's claw at the eyes a little bit. Okay? No one believes in you, but I believe in you. So we're going to go out there and we're going to fuck up this gorilla if it's the last thing we do. Because goddamn it might be the last thing we do. Human on 3. 1, 2, 3. Human. And you see? That's how you win. That's how you win. No, I'm coaching. I don't have to go. No, I'm coaching. I don't have to go out there. You know? I'm not part of the 100. I'm a coach. No, coaches don't go first. I have to coach. How, the reality is I'm telling whoever's going first eye to eye. Listen, do you have anything you want me to tell your parents? Any personal belongings you want me to give to somebody? Because I'm just going to be honest with you. It's probably over. You deserve that honesty. It's probably done. $100 Spartans versus 10 gorillas. Gorillas fighting in the 80s were tougher because of hand checking. That's true. Gorillas are soft nowadays. That's a great point that hasn't been factored in. This is a different era of gorillas. They're much softer nowadays. Oh, brother. I did not expect that conversation to happen. I got to go because I got locked on here in 20 minutes. We'll be live tonight, 9 p.m. for the Rockets-Warriors game. Thank you all for coming out, all of the OGs. You guys, I love you very much. Couldn't spend your Monday morning anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. New subscribers. I promise you guys will not regret it. Donations, members, you never have to do that, but it helps you out tremendously. It makes me feel so good. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'll talk to you all later tonight. We'll be live here for slightly early on Wednesday again. We'll also be live tomorrow night for some of the games. Love you all. Talk to you all later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.